Hi guys, today I wanted to do a quick video on the Toyota Prius Prime and the Toyota Prius. Which one should you buy? So I was having a discussion with a friend who was looking into purchasing a new Prius or a Prius Prime, and so I thought it might be helpful to make a video to kind of share with you some of the features so you can kind of make the decision as to which model works best for you. For the first, on the first point, the Toyota Prius Prime, the average MSRP is about $34,000 and change. So the base model is the SE, then you have the XSE and the XSE Premium. On the Prius, the MSRP starts at $29,000, and the base model is the LE, the XLE, and the Limited. So the Prius Prime is a plug-in hybrid, so you have the 44, depending on the trim level, you either have a 39 mile or 44 mile on the SE. It's interesting that the lowest level trim, the SE, has the larger battery capacity. On the XSE and the XSE Premium, you have a 39 mile rated battery. So as I said, the Prius Prime is a plug-in hybrid, and the Prius is basically just a regular hybrid. The next feature is due to the battery capacity of the Prius Prime, you don't have as much room in the trunk. So I'm just going to really quickly show you guys the cargo space, and just so you can see, and we'll get to the interior as well. So we're going to come over here to the trunk. So basically, so in the back, your trunk space here, you pick this up. Underneath here is the actual battery on the Prius Prime, and you have like your little repair kit, which you will also have in the Toyota Prius. Now I've seen some videos where they actually put in the Prius, they actually remove this styrofoam and somehow work in a spare tire. They actually put in the, I guess, the holder for the spare tire. You cannot do that with the Prius Prime due to the battery being directly underneath here. I believe in the Prius, the battery is a little bit further back, like it was in the Gen 3 and Gen 4. So it's more under the seats. You also, your cargo space is limited in the Prius Prime. So if you're looking for more cargo space, the Prius definitely beats the Prius Prime on that aspect. So I'm just going to throw this back. With that said, the Prius Prime does not offer all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is not standard by any means in the Prius. It is an option. So if you want all-wheel drive on your car, the Toyota Prius is the one to choose, but it is an option. It is definitely an option that you have to get. So if you want all-wheel drive Prius, the Prius Prime, due to the battery and the range on the battery, you can only do front-wheel drive. So that's another feature. The Prius Prime definitely has higher mileage capability with the plug-in. So if you're doing daily charging, you can get well over 100 miles per gallon on the Prius Prime. Now, basically the Prius itself is rated a little bit more. I think it's like 51 or 52 miles per gallon, whereas the Prius is like 49 to 50. I'm sorry, the Prius Prime is like 49 or 50 miles per gallon on highway driving, whereas the Prius is actually maybe like 51 or 52 miles per gallon, I believe. So that's another feature. But one very key difference, and this is something that I recommend if you are considering using the car for commuting, is if you have access to a high occupancy vehicle lane, or your HOV lane. In this state, in New York State, it's Clean Pass. I would strongly recommend that you review the rules for access to the Clean Pass lanes, because in New York State, as of 2022, you cannot access Clean Pass lanes with the Toyota Prius. So if you have a 2023 or 2024 Toyota Prius, you will not be granted a Clean Pass sticker. You have to have the plug-in hybrid Toyota Prius Prime, and that's actually even the earlier Prius Prime models, which I believe go back to 2017, are still eligible to get a Clean Pass sticker. So if you are considering, or if you really need to use the HOV lanes for your commute, and again, the regulations of course are different in each state, so I strongly recommend that you check that. That was one of the considerations that I actually looked into before purchasing the vehicle. And it's actually one of the reasons why I chose the Prius Prime over the regular Prius, because actually I had been driving a Gen 3 Prius for over a decade, and had access to HOV, still actually do. If you have a Clean Pass sticker that was previously granted, you are grandfathered in to use the Clean Pass lanes. But one very key consideration is by September 30th, 2025, HOV lanes, that will be the deadline. That will be basically the where HOV lanes are no longer accessible to single occupancy vehicles, regardless of whether they're EVs or plug-in hybrids. You will definitely have to have multiple passengers, which unfortunately is a real drawback. And again, that certainly would, I'm sure, would affect your decision purchase if you're doing it at that time. So another consideration is the horsepower. The Prius, Toyota Prius, has 194 horsepower. The Prius Prime, with the hybrid engine and the electric vehicle engine, comes in at a combined 220 horsepower. So you basically can go 0 to 60 in about, I believe it's about 5 to 6 seconds. So it definitely has great pickup and performance. Another feature is the interior, and this is something that I was really surprised with the new Prius. This has a leather steering wheel where and it's heated, and the trim is definitely a lot nicer. The Prius, I have to say, is very muted compared to the Prius Prime. Obviously you are paying $5,000 on average more, so the controls and the screen options, you can definitely get the larger screen in both the Prius and Prius Prime, but the interior trim, the seat and the materials, now there are still areas of the car on the interior that are a little cheap with some of the components, but I have to say that the Prius Prime definitely has a nicer interior. I've actually looked at both cars. So if interior design is a big feature, now the exterior on both cars is definitely a really beautiful redesign. So both cars, I think you'll be very impressed. They're pretty much identical on the outside. On the inside though, the interior on the Prius Prime is much nicer. The one exception, as I talked about earlier, is the cargo space. You definitely get more cargo space due to the battery capacity, the lower battery capacity in the Prius. So if you're looking for cargo space, the Prius definitely wins out on that aspect. So I guess as far as which one you should buy, you really have to consider your commute. And are you able to, if you're doing, let's say, a 20 to 30 mile commute, the Prius Prime could be a very good option, as you're getting about 44 miles of battery range. As the weather gets warmer, I'm personally noticing that the battery range is about 50 to 54 miles. But again, your miles will definitely depend on the weather conditions. As it gets warmer, you definitely get better battery range. And again, does your commute lend to the need for to basically either use HOV lane? Are you doing a long commute? Are you going to benefit from having the ability to plug in the car? So again, you can plug in the car on a standard 110 outlet in the Prius Prime. It's going to take about 9.5 hours to get you up to a full charge and get your 44 miles. But again, maybe the Prius you may not need to do the plug-in charging. If you just want to do regular gasoline engine and have the efficiency of a hybrid, again, you won't have access to HOV lanes, but the Prius could be definitely a cheaper option. And if you're not going to be using the plug-in capability, then the Prius might be a better choice for you. So there you go, guys. Those are the main features. Like and subscribe and stay safe. Thanks again for watching.